herzlich willkommen zu dieser kleinen Folge oder diesem kurzen Gespräch zu akademische Integrität, akademische Regeln und KI. Wir freuen uns sehr, dass wir Oraz Myradov als Gast haben. Und Oraz wird uns aus Studierendenperspektive und aus Perspektive durch die Europäische Studierendenvertretung einiges mit auf den Weg geben. Wir freuen uns sehr auf das Gespräch. Wir werden es auf Englisch führen, weil es geht um einen Gast aus der Europäischen Studierendenvertretung. Also ist es eine internationale Perspektive. Genau, soweit. Mit mir ist wie immer Sophie, die ihr aus dem Kurs schon kennt. Und ich würde sagen, fangen wir einfach an. Hi, Oraz. Nice to have you. Would you please tell us something about the European Student Union? And what is your job for that union?
Yeah, so European Students' Union, it's an umbrella organization. It's a union of national student unions from European countries. That includes not only European Union, but also some other European countries, for example, Belarus or some Balkan countries, which are outside European Union. And ESU, European Students' Union, works on the European level and lobby for European students' interests. My work, actually, I'm not at the moment working for ESU, but it was last year, and I worked for the executive committee of ESU, and I worked in different policy areas, including academic integrity.
So you're an expert.
Yes, we can say that. But at the moment, I'm involved in Themen platform from Council of Europe. And yeah, I'm continuing the work on academic integrity as a student expert.
So, as a student, have you personally experienced the integration of AI technologies in your academic journey? And what impact has it had on your learning experience?
I would not call it integration, because integration is an action of someone who is involved in providing education to students. It can be different kind of policymakers, and in my case, it would be the university and university administration. And I don't think that my university or the universities I've been to did enough to actually integrate AI into higher education. And I think we should first talk about just general digitalization. And I think the university I've been to, they are generally lacking the comprehensive digital education tools integration into education processes. So my experience with AI, direct experience, was just as a normal person who just read messages on the internet that there's the OpenAI ChatGPT is out, and going there and checking what's going on and asking different questions and being amazed and shocked at the same time. And yeah, this would be my experience with AI. So I'm not anyhow enrolled at any study program which has integrated AI systems into that.
Thank you. And can you share insights into how AI tools have influenced student engagement and participation in higher education based on your own experiences and your observations?
Sadly, on my personal experience, the students generally don't understand how to use AI, and the universities are basically not doing enough in explaining how to actually properly use it and what the AI tool is about and how does it function. And I don't know, maybe students are not also thinking on just going to OpenAI instructions and just reading it, and this is not somehow happening. And I've heard a lot of students just using it in a very inappropriate way, and generally not even understanding that it's actually inappropriate. I had a very funny story when I had to write a homework when my group mates just copy pasted from ChatGPT and didn't even know that it's actually not okay. And I had to explain what is not okay, why we are doing this assignment. And it felt like people just generally didn't know why we are at all doing this assignment. And I think this was my observation. But of course, there are also, I think, especially master students or the students who are more involved in research, they know more about AI tools and how to use them in an authorized way.
Okay, and I think there are 2 points very interesting. The first one is, what should universities do to educate students better in AI? And the second is, please give us a short answer. Why is it not okay to use ChatGPT and copy and paste it in your assignment? So I have a feeling for that answer, but you're the expert. You can say it.
Yeah, so universities, I don't know, for example, my university is offering courses like how to research with ChatGPT, literally. But I think only offering 1 or 2 courses which are voluntary is not enough. I think AI systems and generally education with AI needs to be part of each seminar or each subject. And every teacher needs to, first of all, know how the AI functions and then explain it to students how to use it in this course, and also how is it allowed on the university level, how to use it in that course. So generally explain the rules, how to use it in an authorized way. And why it's not good to copy paste the information from ChatGPT. That's because it is against the whole logic of studying and doing research, and not talking about academic, like scientific approach. So when a person does not, for example, in that case, student does not write on themselves or does not do homework on themselves, that means that basically this student in the end is going to lack certain knowledge, because this was the point of studying, studying by writing, studying by researching, and probably in most cases students just don't understand. It's obvious that they are there to study, but this is not being explained enough to them, that in certain cases, like which type of homeworks are helping to gain which type of skills and in what way. So this is in a simple language, but in an academic language, you cannot use ChatGPT because you violate academic integrity rules, which are in place in all the universities. Universities have the code of conduct, code of ethics, and code of good academic research, call it in different ways. So you violate the university rule.
Okay, thank you. This is very much. From a student's point of view, what are some of the benefits and challenges of using AI-driven tools for tasks like research, plagiarism detection, or personalized learning support?
So talking about, again, the plagiarism, I would say that in the case of AI, it's a little bit tricky even to identify that you actually use the AI for certain thoughts and certain ideas, because AI does not take responsibility for the ideas that it's giving to you and for the conclusions it's making. So you can see a nice conclusions AI giving to you, and if you can even confirm it, and you can even understand it, but you cannot identify that it's, or you can identify, but still it's outside the, like, I would say academic paradigm, because it's not taking the responsibility for the ideas it's giving. That's why, from the point of view of plagiarism, I guess the understanding and definition of plagiarism needs to be expanded towards including AI, because it's not that easy as in the case of some person writing it and taking responsibility for that. But there are cases also undeclared usage, and then it gets even more complicated, because there are people who just get money for this type of work, but AI does not get money for that, but it's still kind of a undeclared usage, undeclared content generation. Sorry, could you repeat the question? It was a really big one.
Yeah, no problem. What are some benefits and challenges of using AI-driven tools for tasks like research or personalized learning support?
So benefits, I would say the biggest benefit is that it can help you to improve your language, and it can help you to make your text more logical, make your writing better. And it can also, some certain tools can also help you even to search for literature. Though I would say that ChatGPT is really bad in that, and it gives you random literature. It just generates the literature, and it generates the authors which don't necessarily exist. So if you try, for example, asking for literature for certain topics on ChatGPT, you will easily see that it just hallucinates. Because we're not gonna go to because there are a lot of things going on with statistical models and stuff. But this would be the benefits of using AI in the research, that you can actually, with certain tools, ask for literature and then go check the information the AI is generating for you, and also check the language of the of your research. In studying, there are also the dialogue-based AI studying platforms where you can ask an AI tutor the questions which you didn't manage to ask during the class or the lecture, and you can get pretty comprehensive and understandable answers. And if you don't understand the answer given, you can regenerate the answer and reformulate the answer. So it's really customized tool which can help you personally with your personal problems with understanding different subjects. It is very useful for neurodivergent students to make complex language of certain texts easier to understand, but you should be really careful that it's not actually losing academic knowledge which was in the original text, and always check it with original text. So it's not really adapted, I would say, yet to the needs of neurodivergent students. So these would be benefits. Also, there are AI tools which can help you to build your schedule and organize your day. And I know that in the beginning of studies, it's really hard to organize everything. But I think it should be done in a very comprehensive way, that the universities provide those tools, and that these tools are integrated into the university digital learning platforms. And moreover, those platforms need to be also somehow synchronized across the countries, across the continent, so it's interoperable. Of course, always thinking about the security and data protection measures.
Very interesting. I had a hypothetical case. If I'm writing a PhD and I'm at a chapter about limitations, and I'm using ChatGPT to ask me some questions about limitations, and I answer it to ChatGPT. And at the end, ChatGPT gives me a whole chapter about the limitations in my PhD process. How can I make it useful for me, or what should I do to do it in an academic integrity way that it's not plagiarism? Do you have any ideas, or do you have any thoughts about that case?
If I understood your question correctly, you mean the limitations of the research, the chapter limitations, yeah? So you ask the ChatGPT, you copy paste. First of all, you have to copy paste your work into ChatGPT and ask to give you the limitations, or you have to give some information on methodics, on the methods you used in your research. So the ChatGPT gives you actually the limitations. Well, I would say first concern would be that it's really risky to put your own work into ChatGPT, because ChatGPT, it collects the data. It will just take this work into the data set in the end. So your work will be leaked into the AI system. Doesn't necessarily mean that it will be leaked into the human-based systems, but it's there in the AI data set. And after all, if the ChatGPT gives you the limitations, this is still considered to be unauthorized usage, because it's not your own ideas about your own work. So you have to always be careful with ChatGPT that it doesn't completely generate new thoughts and new ideas into your work. So in your work, all the ideas need to be yours. So if you take some ideas from another author, you usually quote them. And you also have to be careful with the wording and rephrasing, because the way you word it and rephrase it needs to be not distorting the original idea of the author. But in that case, with limitations chapter, you just take it from ChatGPT. So you cannot say that it was generated by the author ChatGPT, and so you cannot just say it like that. And it's not an author; it's not taking the responsibility. So in the end, the responsibility would be on you, but you still have to show that you used the AI to generate this chapter.
Okay. In your opinion, how can universities and educational institutions better involve students in shaping the development and implementation of AI solutions to ensure they align with students' needs and expectations?
Yeah. The most obvious and the most the universities love using this replacing the real feedback with reading the algorithms and the behavior of students on the learning platforms. I would say, first of all, stop doing it, and don't replace the real feedback, and always encourage students to actually give the feedback and always be responsive to that feedback, and generally try to create an atmosphere where the feedback from students is valued, which means that you have to react to that feedback. You cannot just collect the feedback and disappear without any response, which is happening in my university. Usually, it's students are writing feedback, and then there are also deadlines, and the deadlines are always ending before the exams, which is not according to the standards, international standards, because the feedback needs to be collected always after the final evaluations to actually help students not to fear any repercussions from the teacher's side. So the feedback needs to be always after final evaluation, and the feedback needs to be responded. So you have to show that you actually value students' feedback. And then afterwards, when you collect students' feedback, you have to try to include them not through just the normal ways of student elective representatives, but also informal ways where every course designer, every teacher is welcoming informal feedback in the class. So the students are always involved and can be free in telling that they don't like certain ways of teacher preparing course, or they don't understand something, and it should be normalized. I've seen many cases where I approached teachers and I said that this is not helping us to actually comprehend, but it was left without any attention, and the teacher was like, well, maybe you don't like it, but others might like it. I think this should not be the type of reaction teachers show to student feedback. Also, there should be always an open opportunities. Like, students need to be invited to even course design, policy generation, policy creation, for example, for code of conduct or code of ethics. Students never are involved in creating code of ethics, and they don't even know that there are code of ethics. So students need to be somehow integrated into the university academic integrity systems, because universities are usually, especially like academic integrity experts in the university, are usually more concerned about researchers and academics in the meaning of research, but they always lack this proper attention towards students, and they are left outside. There are also studies from ESO and some other institutions showing that students generally don't know what academic integrity is, and they don't know what plagiarism is. They don't know basic types of academic misconduct. That I guess once again proves that students need to be included, not only in the talks where the center of attention is on misconduct done by students, and also always talking about students in this language of blaming, because it happens. Students are always the ones who are cheating. Students are always the ones who are using ChatGPT in an appropriate way, but students are never actually included into the policymaking in that area. So I guess, the expert need to be more open-minded towards students and include them into procedures.
I am very happy to hear these words from you. I am writing my PhD about student participation, and I'm working on that topic for many years now, and I have the same observations. Students are always not integrated in such processes or policy-making processes. So another question. As someone involved in both students' life and with an AI expertise, how do you see students contributing to discussions and decisions about the ethical use of AI in academia, particularly in the context of academic integrity?
We should, I guess, first of all say that students generally don't have much idea about academic integrity, and it's very sad. And we saw that even like on the organization level, like in ESO, we saw that in our own experience, that students are generally not aware of that. But as I mentioned earlier, that's because they are never included into policymaking in that area. They are always included in the social dimension. They are included in social justice movements or like even teaching and learning in some cases, but they are never included in academic integrity. And this area is very dominated by experts and researchers. And this is very bad. That's one of the reasons why students are not really a lot contributing into that topic. But talking from my own experience and ESO's work, for example, ESO is doing a lot on academic integrity, and that's being appreciated. ESO has been entrusted to actually define academic integrity. And last year, me and my colleagues wrote this statement of the Bologna Ministers Committee on different fundamental values of higher education. And the statement on academic integrity, defining academic integrity, was written by students. And I think this shows that ministers understand the importance of involving students in the process. So we are happy about this development. And also students was first, I think first ever, it was included into Council of Europe's ethics platform, ETINET. And now students are generally contributing more into policymaking. And I really hope that at the universities in Germany and in Europe, students will be included, and there will be this special person appointed from the AStA, from student unions, who will be responsible for the area academic integrity and generally make it more visible.
Thank you. We have asked all our questions. So the last one maybe is from your point of view for the students taking the course and looking for ways to integrate AI in their student life or their work on academic work. What do you give them? What should they do to be more integrity in their working time with some assignments or something like that?
First of all, try to understand the basic types of misconduct and how it actually occurs. And there are actually useful even apps with cases given to students. But I think it's still research oriented, so it's really hard to actually to mention any kind of apps or any kind of easier to comprehend resources about academic integrity for students. So I don't know, my recommendation would be rather to universities to help students and to give them actually the information so they can read and also make this information accessible and inclusive to different types of students, and so the students can actually understand the transgressions. And then after understanding, it gets easier to actually at least have a little concern about certain ways of using AI, which actually is not in accordance with the rules. So you have to know the rules in order to understand that you might violate them. Or just in a general way, things, especially learning and research, it doesn't have to be easy and careless. So if it feels that it's too easy, if it feels that it's just as if you haven't worked on it, probably you are doing something wrong, because studying and researching always takes some kind of energy and some kind of work towards it. So I would say that, but that doesn't mean also that you have to struggle, because the AI tools are there to help you in order not to struggle. So, sorry, my answer was not really simple, but this is how I see everything.
Thank you very much. Sophie, do you have any questions left?
No.
Oh, okay. So thank you, Oraz.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting.